Welcome to Hancock's VMware Half Hour. Okay, so in this short video we're going to do today, I'm going to look at a tool, a free tool from Broadcom, which I'll put the link to this tool in the description. If you're watching this video, please go and grab this tool or this script. We keep hearing rumors that Broadcom may put the VMware knowledge base behind a paywall. So i.e., e.g., if you don't have a support subscription with Broadcom, you will lose access to all the support documents that currently exist for ESXi 7 and ESXi 8, VMware vSphere, etc., etc. It's a rumor. There are some people that have turned around and said, wouldn't be at all surprised. So, the tool in question used to be called VDT. Well, it still is called VDT. I've always known it as VDT, which is sort of kind of the vSphere Diagnostic Tool. But, you know, with everything at Broadcom now, everything's becoming VCF. So it's now being called the VCF Diagnostic Tool for vSphere, formerly vSphere Diagnostic Tool. But the script itself is still VDT .py. They've not called it vcf.py yet, but maybe that's to come in another version. So the reason for this, and I had mentioned this before in another video that I did, and I've been meaning to mention this video a long time ago. It's one of the tools that we use as part of our VMware vSphere tool bag of bits and bobs when we're upgrading sites and upgrading VMware vSphere, specifically VMware vCenter server. And it's a script, really, a handful of bits and bobs in a script that you run on your VMware vCenter server since 6.5. And it checks things like passwords and certificates and storage, etc., before you basically pull the trigger and get into a world of doo-doo with doing your upgrades. So we're going to look at this script today, and this video that we're going to do is sort of going to be split into 3 parts, and I'll publish 3 parts independently. So today we're going to look at VDT, the vSphere Diagnostic Tool. And again, then we're going to do another VMware vCenter Server 8 upgrade using RDU, the reduced downtime upgrade, and then we're going to fix it. I'll explain why we're going to fix it. In the last few days, a bunch of updates have appeared from Broadcom again. These came out on the 17th of September. And the VMSA 2024-0019 published by Broadcom addresses CVEs 2024-38812 and 38813. The severity of these are actually critical, and the CVSS ranges from 7.5 to 9.8. So depending upon your environment, depending upon your governance and policies in your organization, if you're above a 7, you may need to patch these within 7 days or immediately. And the heap overflow vulnerability has a CVSS v3 base score of 9.8. So, you know, that's almost sort of kind of a tsunami level. This is build commonly being called 8.0.3b or build 24262.322. Don't worry about all these build numbers because I will put them in the description so that you can have a look with links to the downloads. It is actually basically stated as critical. So 8.0 U3B. Obviously, there has been an ESXi version for 8 as well that has come out, 8.0 U3B as well. But as I said, it was published on the 17th of September, and within a matter of days, people were complaining that they had issues. So Broadcom have published a fix and a workaround for this. At the moment, they said Broadcom is working towards a permanent fix for this issue, so we can expect another VMware vCenter server update drop, I would think, within the next week, I would think. But if you can't hold off waiting for a week to fix that patch, then there is a workaround. So we're going to do sort of kind of three things, and I'm going to split this into three parts. We're going to look at VDT in this video, and then I'm going to do a refresh of using RDU to upgrade to the buggy version of vCenter Server. And then we're going to fix that version of vCenter Server in the third video. So that's how things are going to flow. So let's go back to VCF. Again, I'll put this link in the description for you to go and get the download here. VDT, it's a zip file. The instructions are here. They're very, very simple. This is sort of kind of basic stuff. So it's an SSH connection into our vCenter server. I'm just going to basically go back to the shell. So I've already uploaded this via WinSCP. So as I said, this is simple stuff. Then I've unzipped the zip file, and there's all the bits and bobs for the script, and I'm going to run Python vdt.py. I've also basically enlarged the SSH session here so you can see the stuff that's going to scroll up the screen, and we'll go back and have a little look at it. Basically what we're looking for is red failures. Green is going to say pass. So that's all I'm going to do. Python space vdt.py. I'm going to hit enter. All this information is actually logged as well, so you can actually download the log and you can print it out and you can put it in your management file or whatever you do with your documentation management. And I'm just going to let this scroll up the screen. And you know, this is really, again, so you can see where all these report locations are here. So I'm just going to scroll back up the screen and I'm going to have a little look at a couple of bits and pieces. So some information there, number of virtual machines, clusters, inventory summary. So we've got a pass, Okay, so we've got a failure. Okay, so it's just telling us that the root account check is going to expire in 18 days. You know, do keep an eye on your administrator at vSphere.local user accounts and your root accounts, because you may experience some downtime if you forget those, if you need to reset them. And I've created some videos to show you how to do that, so I'll drop them in the description as well. Okay, NTP server check is running, and they're both okay. And you know, don't ignore NTP. You know, there was a question that I had on Experts Exchange only last week, where a member basically had logged a question and noticed some very weird stuff going on with VMware vCenter server, because he noticed that I think he was adrift by 4 minutes. I can't remember if it was the host that was out with vCenter server or vCenter server was out with the host, but there was a 4-minute drift. And when we changed that, he then started to experience email alerts from VMware vCenter server that were 4 hours adrift. I think it was 4 hours adrift. So, you know, do ensure, you know, NTP is important. I would recommend that you actually basically have your own time servers running in your data center on your site, so that you can actually basically, you are in control of them. If you're using time servers that are on the internet, you have no control of them. Obviously, if it's a lab, then it doesn't really matter. And in fact, in the lab here, you know, these two time servers are actually built from Raspberry Pis, very, very cheaply. And I saw a Reddit post the other day. I think somebody had actually built a Raspberry Pi time server for $12, I think. Okay, so lots of green here. Okay, so, you know, I'm sure you've heard me mention DNS once or twice about how important it actually is to have working DNS within your organization. And as far as I'm concerned, really, DNS is only as good as your network infrastructure, or your network infrastructure is only as good if you've got good DNS working. Again, the number of questions that we get on Experts Exchange because people set up VMware vSphere without a good working DNS and use IP addresses. It doesn't work very well, believe you me. Okay, file system checks, core file system syslog checks, largest tables. Okay, so certificates, you know, you've heard me bang on about this. I did a video the other day about 500 internal server area in VMware vCenter server, where we got completely messed up in our VMware vCenter server HA lab that's running on VMware vCenter server 7. And that turned into a complete mess just because the certificate had failed. So this is just a fancier script that actually basically shows the certificates are okay. Lots more passes, host cluster checks, and we're done. So that's it for this video. Again, just going back to the Broadcom link. I'll put this in the description below, so you can basically go off and grab a copy of this. Very handy script to run before you do your snapshot, before you do your backup, before you hit the trigger and do that VMware vCenter server upgrade. So come back for the next video when again we'll do, for continuity, another upgrade of VMware vCenter server. We'll see how that goes, and then we'll do another video where we basically fix the issue that's reported by. So once again, thanks very much for watching, and goodbye.